please join me in welcoming Armaan Ahmed.
There are 3,215 photos taken every single second around the world. My name is Armaan Ahmed, and I'm a street photographer. So what differentiates me from everybody else? First and foremost, let me define street photography for you. Street photography is photography of ordinary life and ordinary people, but in an unfamiliar environment. Street photography doesn't need a street, as the name implies, or even an urban environment. Street photography basically makes the ordinary extraordinary. Today, everybody is a photographer. Anybody can whip out his or her phone and snap a photo, or for that matter, a selfie. Actually, never mind, don't take selfies, they're not real photography. But me, as a photographer, I need to differentiate myself from the rest of the world. And so I found that my best photography is street photography. So to give you some examples, here's some of my best work. This is a photo that I took in Madrid, Spain, in El Rostro Market. El Rostro Market is the largest Sunday market in all of Europe, so it's super crowded. When you're there, you're in these swarms of people carrying your backpack in front of you because El Rostro Market is infamous for pickpocketers. And when I was there in this gigantic sea of people, I saw an opening in the crowd, and I went to investigate. What I found there was this elderly couple playing music. The wife was singing, and the husband was playing the accordion. The man's face was pure joy. When I asked if I could take their photo, they happily said yes. And what I found most amazing about them was just how enjoyable they were. I love this photo just because of how it captured the man's facial expression. It's a true representation of his personality. Over this past summer, I went to Monument Valley, Utah. And when I was there, I took this photo of a Navajo Native American elder named Don. Don showed me and my family around this part of Navajo Nation, which is the largest reservation in the US. It's the size of West Virginia. When he was there, he was telling us the story of his disappearing native language. It's widely known that Navajo is actually the second hardest language to learn behind Mandarin. In fact, in World War II, Navajo code talkers were enlisted by the US Marines against Japan. Don wanted to fix this problem. So what he did is he taught in Navajo schools for 34 years straight, just teaching Navajo to the local children. But he wanted it to be self-sustaining because eventually this language would die out because it's unwritten. So what he did is he teamed up with Rosetta Stone to make a language software, and now all Navajo kids in their reservation learn their own language from Rosetta Stone. All these photos I really appreciate, but every photo is taken differently. So for these two photos, I got to directly interact with the subjects of the photo. All these photos, my hope is to communicate my feelings of photography through the photo to all of you. This photo I took last summer in Tokyo, Japan. When I was there, I went to Tsukiji Fish Market. Tsukiji Fish Market is the largest fish market in the world. I was weaving in and out of the inner market, avoiding tons and countless vendors. And I also learned about each specialty stall. So in Tsukiji Fish Market, everybody has their own specific job. So for example, there would be a person in Tsukiji Fish Market dedicated to just selling shiitake mushrooms or anything else. And there would be certain vendors that would only buy from that one specific vendor. As was with this man I met named Haruma. Haruma had been skinning and filleting eels for 21 years in the same exact place. He was so experienced that he could take an eel, skin, and debone it in something like 10 seconds. I couldn't even keep up with it. What I found most amazing about him was how focused he was in his own passion, just skinning and filleting eels, and also how well respected he was. I didn't really necessarily like the artificial light in this photo, but what I did like is how it captured his intensity and how it froze an otherwise busy moment in time. Over this past summer, I went to a National Geographic photography camp in Yellowstone National Park. And when I was there, I went to a rodeo on the 4th of July. a rodeo on the 4th of July. It was literally the most American thing I've ever done. By far, no question. Anyways, when I was there, I met this group of kids outside of the rodeo arena, and I was talking to them about their summers and their family and their upcoming school year. And eventually, I mustered up the courage to ask for their photo. Now, these were a group of 10-year-olds that I was talking to for about half an hour. And while that doesn't seem like a lot of time, trust me, it is when you're talking to a bunch of 10-year-olds. I promise. But I asked if I could take their photo, and initially they said no, which I can totally understand because their parents weren't there. But eventually I asked and I asked and I asked, and finally they said yes. They all posed and smiled like a regular family portrait, just like any photo that you see. But I didn't want to take their photo then, because I wanted it to look more natural. So I took their photo a split second afterwards, and I ended up with this. Now, obviously, the kid on the right didn't like me that much, but all of these photos are taken differently, in settings, technique, and approach. So for example, the photo of the man in Skiji Fish Market and the photo of the couple in Madrid, I didn't get to directly interact with the subjects of the photo. So this made the photo taken from a more observer's perspective. But for the other two photos, the photos of Dawn and the kids at the rodeo, I talked to them. I got to interact with them, and I learned their stories. So this made the photo taken from a more intimate perspective. All of these photos are extremely, extremely important to me. But my mission is to make these photos important to all of you. Lastly, to quote Elliot Erwitt, to me, photography is the art of observation. It's about finding something interesting in an ordinary place. I've found it has little to do with the things you see and everything to do with the way you see them. Thank you.